All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Aaron Moreno, and this is a client customer interview. So this is Kevin that we have right here that you also see on the screen. And Kevin was a client of mine, and he was a client for about a year now, and he just sold his Amazon business. So this customer interview just to go over our relationship and like the results, right? And then eventually, how he ended up being able to grow the business through our service to eventually sell our business or his business. So with that being said, Kevin, if you just want to give like a quick intro on yourself before we start.
Hey everyone, I'm Kevin. Yes, like Aaron described, I just sold my Amazon business for a multi seven figure. I've been running this from zero for the past 4 years, and I have been engaged with Aaron's service for the past year, and we have managed to grow the business, actually double the business in the past year, and I'm really happy that we have this result. So I'm happy to go over with you guys for about the PPC and also the different business aspect. And right now, like in my background here, I'm an investor of this freight forwarders that help Amazon sellers, especially for overseas sellers, to access Chinese market and ship freight efficiently. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, yeah, awesome. So, so you sold your Amazon business, now just putting more time into this other business venture that you're helping out with.
Yep.
Got it. Cool. All right. Well, so let's talk about the Amazon business. So you recently sold for multiple seven figures. Congrats. That's awesome. So you just sold, what was it, last week, right?
Yes,
Or the
that's
week
right.
before? Yeah. So awesome. So congrats. So my questions are in regards to the PPC. So before you actually started working with us, like what was your PPC like?
Well, the PPC was like at the very beginning of the story, like everyone else, it started from really simple. I've only a few SKUs, and the PPC campaign was simple and have only the sponsored product. And as account grow to 50, 60 SKUs and even more, and the campaign get really complicated. And also the campaign types grow from sponsored product to sponsored brand. And right before I engage with your service, I have just over 100 campaigns, and it's complicated, and that makes me feel like I need someone professional to manage the account for me, because I have other more important things to do. That's why I talked to you, and you really stand out from a lot of service provider.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And let's jump to that at the end, because I really want to figure out what stood out with us. But before we do, so where was like your average monthly sales at before working with us?
Well, it's I only had sponsored product and sponsored brand. It was about 90K before the service start.
Is that 90K? Is that just PPC or overall?
It's just PPC.
Okay, what was like your overall average?
The overall is about less than.
Um, a month or
No,
a
sorry,
year?
it's million probably divided by 12. The same.
Yeah. So about $1,000 a month, and about 90K of that was coming from PPC.
Yes, that's right.
Got it. And at on average, around like what was your A cost for that 90K?
The A cost for sponsored product is about 36%, and for sponsored brand is about 29%.
Got it. And how did you feel about that?
Well, it's the competition is become it's like the market is more crowded and more competitive. The PPC is was becoming less efficient as before.
Mm.
So I was kind of worried about it's going to skyrocket and continue to grow. So yeah, I was a little worried and tried to minimize or make the PPC more efficient just by myself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would definitely say that within the past, especially 2 years, it's become very competitive. Like cost per clicks are steadily increasing. Tons of new people are in the market, right? Everyone wants to, be an Amazon seller and sell their business, just like how you did. So a ton of competition came. So it makes sense, right? How you wanted to look to improve it even further, optimize it so that you can focus on other areas of the business. So I get that. So in addition to like sales and ACOS, were there any other metrics that you looked at beforehand to really gauge performance?
Well, not really. Well, as a seller, the main goal is just to grow the sales while maintain a reasonable cost from ads perspective. And our brand is not as big as the super big brand that has metrics like impression and how many people knows that. It's still from a more of cost efficient perspective as more of a cost control, right?
Got it. Yeah, got it. So you had to compete with those big dogs, but at the same time, you had to remain profitable.
That's right.
Got it. So then, my next question is like, what was your biggest pain point before working with me? It kind of sounds like costs and really time, but could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, basically, it's like I said, the number of PPC campaigns grew to over 100,
Mm.
and I was not able to keep up with all of them because it's ones that have multiple types of PPC. It start to have interactions and try to adjust each one of them so that they work with each other. And sometimes like SP cost goes up and try to tune that down and try to grow SP, right? And also Amazon introduced what's that, sponsored display ads, and that's the thing that I want to get into, but I actually don't know how. I need to learn that, but at that point, because I was I don't I like in the company, I'm only one who managed this, so so I don't have the time to really learn how to do that efficiently. So that's another thing. And also, as the number of SKU grow, I need time to actually manage other aspects of the business instead of I spend a lot of time on the PPC. And plus, not even mentioning Amazon's like report system is really poor, and I'm not able to understand the data very well, even though I have a data background and I do like managing data, but I still have a hard time to understand all these reports and download reports and aggregate the data together.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. And yeah, it is a little it's a lot for sure. And if you're not always in it every single day, living and breathing in it, it changes so much. And then sometimes there's glitches, so you never really know. So I
Yeah.
definitely get what you're saying. What types of processes did you use to monitor and manage PPC before us?
Well, I have a really manual process. I basically download the data to a Google Sheet and do crazy macros and scripts and to aggregate the data. But it's just a very manual process. I didn't have a good tool to manage it. And I try to adjust the PPC on say bi-weekly basis. I used to look at them every single day, but as the complication goes up,
Mm.
and the business also grew, and I didn't have time to really tune PPC campaigns. That's where the pain came from.
Yeah, that makes sense. Got it. Okay, cool. And then um that was your situation before us, right? So then now let's, a year later, right? You've sold your Amazon business. Now this is after us. So um, right before you sold your business, and we help you grow that account. Like, where was your average monthly sales then?
The monthly sales doubles in the past year, for sure. And but I'm also really happy about the PPC. Also, the PPC sales also doubles from the data I'm looking at the peak. So yeah.
Nice. And then at what ACoS did that increase by?
Well, the sales derived from PPC together. It reached about 200K at the peak in the summer, and the ACoS is actually down at the time from like before, like 2 years ago it was about 30 something percent, and last year it's about 25% for sponsored
Yeah.
product. Sponsored brand is like at 29%, and sponsored display, and which you initiated, was at 23%.
Yeah. And I remember that. So our ACoS target was like anything um, at or below 30%, we're good to maximize sales with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So mhm.
The goal is basically to make profit. So all these the PPC, we're not trying to grow the sales at any cost, and we try to
Mhm.
make every sales profitable or break even.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And so now after working with me, on an ongoing basis, what did you look at any other metrics to gauge performance with me, or did you stick to sales and ACoS and just making sure that those are good on our weekly reports?
So what's your question again?
Like after working with us, were there like how did you gauge performance then?
Um, well, I received the weekly reports from you or your assistant, and I basically look at the well, it's just a normal metrics, ACoS spend, total sales, adjusted for the seasonalities, because I've been running this account, and I know the seasonality and when and
Mm,
how much the PPC should grow. So I have a rough idea.
yep.
And it's well, in the last year, I've probably only contacted you about twice about the things I didn't meet my expectation, and we have a quick email back and forth, and it resolved my concern.
Pivoting and adjusting to make sure that we do meet those expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so then like overall, how do you feel about your that pain point that you had before?
Um, oh, it 100% removed my PPC work so that I can basically focus on other business aspects and other things. And the overall PPC became more efficient, and I'm really happy about that.
That's amazing. Yeah, yeah. Your account, I was loving it, man. I was loving it. First, like I know that you had two different product categories. I won't share those categories, but the seasonality of those were different. And when we were hitting like peak season for each of those categories, being able to see that like we're breaking records like month over month was so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes.
I think one time we were like having inventory issues, right? Like just because we were just
Yeah.
doing
Constantly, like
yeah,
this year,
right.
for a couple months.
Yeah. Yeah, good problems, but all right, so Kevin, I want to be respectful of your time. I know you're a very busy guy. My last question is, why did you choose to work with me?
Um, well, we had a couple calls back and forth, right? And the reason I chose you because you said you specialize in 7 to 8 figure revenue account. That's very important because for different account size, the PPC strategy is totally different.
Absolutely.
And for for a professional like you, that you play in the specific niche, and that is very important for seller, that you understand what the seller are really thinking, what the business operator are trying to do at this stage. And you also have a very well designed process of updating PPC on a daily basis, and look at the data. You have a very good dashboard, and also the communication. I really like your how you communicate them with me. Like I said, I remember there are twice that I have concerns over the numbers, and I actually reach out to you, and you quickly share your viewpoint through a video clip recording, and that really resolved my concerns. And I know that you are on top of it. Everything's intentional, and we found the root cause, and we can move forward.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Those like screen recording videos where it's like me showing you click by click, like what I'm seeing, bringing you the data, but also like a little video of me in the corner
Yeah.
explaining things, right? Just because it's kind of like a phone call, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, so I could elaborate more and just give you more information. And with PPC, there's just so much going on. And a lot of times when an issue happens, I mean, we both know that sometimes it's not just PPC. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But there's so many other factors in play, like price, competition, inventory, all these things where we really need to have a holistic view to really get down to, like you were saying, like that root cause. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that that is really important. Communication is key within this. I mean, like PPC takes up such a big part of an Amazon business, right? It's like you need to make
Yes.
sure that you're on the pulse of things and you have open communication with whoever is managing your PPC.
Yeah. And well, it's just that the PPC has become so complicated, right? Like for people, for a seller like me, I can't even keep up with them. So it kind of reminds me of like when I had a small stock portfolio. I just managed myself, and when the stock portfolio get really big, or much bigger than before, then you gotta hand it over to someone to manage the stock portfolio, because they have a lot more to pay attention on the
Yeah.
macro, the micro, and the portfolio wise, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. To anyone who's watching, I hope that this video provided you some value in your Amazon journey. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And Kevin, I'll let you outro yourself if you want to say any last words.
Well, I really want to say thank you, Aaron,
Thank you.
for for your service. It's really professional, and I really enjoyed working with you.
I appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you for your trust in giving us a shot.
Yeah,
All right.
cool.
I'll thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.